Hello. Well, it's good to be with you today, and I hope you're having a good morning so far. My role today is simply to tell you about how I came to know Jesus, a little tiny bit about what God's done in my life over that time. I didn't grow up in a Christian family. My mum and my dad didn't go to church. They didn't follow Jesus or believe in him. I didn't think that maybe they did a little bit. But I went to a school, a primary school that was connected with the church a little bit, and so occasionally we used to go along to, I think, harvest festivals and maybe a Christmas service, that sort of thing. And I guess I began to learn a little bit about Jesus there, but not too much. I think I thought I was a Christian. And my mum, around this time, started to go to church a little bit more and started to be interested in God. And so we went along, my brother and I went along occasionally with her, and then that became a little bit more. And she moved church and started to go to a new one. Soon after that, my mum went to an event in a football stadium, Queen's Park Rangers football stadium. A man had come to speak to us. He'd come to preach about Jesus. And there was a few bands, I think, and other things like that. But my mum and a friend had gone and she'd invited me to go. So we went on the underground train and went to this event. And I remember sitting there listening, absolutely transfixed to this man speaking about Jesus. And I knew that day that I needed to say yes to Jesus. I'd gone to church a bit. I got involved in some singing and some worship stuff, and I got involved in, I used to read the Bible in church and those sort of things. But I knew that on that day I needed to say yes to God. I knew that all those things weren't enough. And I guess what I really want to say today is that whenever Jesus speaks to you and calls you to come closer, say yes to him. It's worth it. It's worth everything you've got to follow Jesus. Well, on that day, I went down onto the football pitch. That was the invitation to come and respond. And I went down there, and an elderly man prayed with me. And my mum had dashed down to join me at that point, so I didn't get lost. But I prayed with this elderly man, and he talked to me more about Jesus and how to follow Jesus. And he actually used to write to me every now and then, and I'd write back a little thank you letter. I didn't quite understand at the time how special that was, but it was really, really significant looking back that he took the time to invest in me. Well, all the time God was calling me. And I knew fairly soon after that that God wanted me to do the kind of thing I'm doing now. And I don't mean sitting in a spare room talking to a phone. That's not the kind of thing I'm doing now in terms of being involved in the church and trying to help more people come to know God and help them follow Jesus with the whole of their lives. I think I knew from a reasonably young age that was what God wanted me to do. Family moved down to Devon, and I got involved in a different church there, and I began to know more about Jesus again. This is amazing, because everywhere I went, I kept discovering that there was more to know about God. I thought I'd come to the end, and I thought I knew Jesus, and yet there was more to discover. And I found that year after year after year, that however much I think I know about God, there's always more to learn. And as I read my Bible today, God's speaking to me just as powerfully as he was when I was even before a teenager. And he was speaking to me clearly today, just as he was then. And he's never stopped. And each time he's showing me more about himself and what it means to follow him. Over those years, I've found amazing opportunities to pray with people, to see God work in quite amazing ways. Through that time, I've been off to Bible college and learnt more there, and then studied again at different points. I've worked in another church up in the north of the country and helped. Just had an amazing opportunity to help some young people and some children and some adults come to know Jesus more. As we've prayed with people, we've seen people getting healed, we've seen relationships restored, all that sort of stuff. But I don't dismiss that. It's the one thing I want to say today is whatever age you are, when God speaks to you and says, come on, it's time to follow me, say yes to him. Don't turn him down. Say yes. And today is a great day to say yes to Jesus, whatever he's telling you to do. If you don't yet know him and you want him to come into your life and give you a new start, say yes to Jesus today. If you hear him calling you to maybe do something particular with your life, either when you're older or right now, say yes to him. He'll never let you down, and it's the most exciting life you can live, following Jesus and saying yes to him. He's always provided for us. He's never let us down. And every year that's gone by, as I've listened to what God said, he's called me closer, and the most exciting times I've had of when I've said yes to Jesus. So that's my simple encouragement today. Say yes to God, whatever he calls you to do. Have a great day.